If you go a couple days without feeling like you've changed something, if you've gone a couple days feeling like you're kind of the same as you were yesterday, then you get disgusted and you get frustrated. Like a man who hasn't had a meal, you get frustrated and you desire that growth. So why haven't I grown today? Why didn't I grow yesterday? What kept me back? Did I go back into some sort of comfortable pattern?
You know what it's like to be poor, and you know what it's like to work hard. And you will want so much for them to like you, and they just won't. And it'll break your heart. And that'll make your heart bigger and open your eyes, and finally you will realize that there's more to life than proving you're the smartest person in the world.
The amount of suffering that you understand, the amount of pain that you've gone through makes you appreciate the happiness and the beautiful moments with much more intensity.
Because you wouldn't have prayed like you pray had you not been hurt. You wouldn't love like you love had you not been hurt, because you know what it's like to hate somebody. So you refuse to go down that path.
We're built to walk uphill. And when you reach the pinnacle of the hill, you want to stop and appreciate the vision, but the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance, because it's the uphill climb that it's from the uphill climb that we derive our value. And I mean this technically. So almost all the positive emotion we feel, that's experienced in relationship to a goal. And so in some sense, you want a goal that you can never attain, right? So you can always move closer to the goal that recedes as you move towards it. You think, well, that's frustrating. It's like Sisyphus pushing the rock uphill. But it's not, because as you pursue that goal, you put yourself together and your life does get better and richer and more abundant. You want them to be above everything you're doing so you can continually move towards something that's more sublime and better. That's what you are. You're here to live, not to sleep.
Feelings has nothing to do with it. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do the things that I don't feel like doing. I'm going to do the things I don't want to do. I'm going to do the things that don't come easy to me, that do not come natural to me. I'm going to get up and do it. You can't live your life on feelings. You cannot let your feelings dictate what you are or are not going to do today.
When you're in the gym, don't count your reps. Just push until it hurts. And once it hurts, then start counting your reps. That's why when they asked Muhammad Ali how many push-ups he does, he said, I don't know. I only start counting when it hurts. So that's how we grow. That's how we succeed. As we push and push and push and go, and once it starts hurting, once the resistance starts coming, that's when we start counting. That's when we start to matter.
This whole thing about suffering, yeah, it sucks really bad, really, really bad. But we all live on this side of suffering, on this side. This nice box that's very comfortable, that we know when everything is going to happen. We're in it, it's good. We know how everything's going to turn out. It's those few people who are willing to go on this side of suffering. And once they get through that, ask him how he feels now. His mind, how far he grew. In that short period of time, he grew so much more than the normal person, because he was willing to go outside himself. Because on the other end of suffering is greatness.
You know, it doesn't get easy, my friend. Running 12 plus miles a day, doing 800 plus push-ups a day, lifting weights every single day, working 2 jobs, working out of my comfort zone at the club. But it's worth it. Because if you think it's about fitness, you're wrong. If you think it's about the money, you're wrong. Because it all goes back to one point. One important point, my friend.
You don't get that fire inside to make it happen out there. So you go to the fire in here.
Nothing should be easy. If it's easy, it's not going to be worth doing. So many people love to have the opportunity to find the easy way out and celebrate something that they never really worked hard to get. It gives you an opportunity to appreciate the challenges more, the letdowns, the failures. It gives you more ammunition so when you do eventually get to where you want to be, just in case that moment comes and you get knocked back down, you understand what it feels like, and you know you're not going to stay down for very long because you know what that ground feels like.
See, we spend too much time thinking about how bad it hurts instead of how good the future will be after the pain. And so after the blood, after the sweat, after the tears, after I've cried all I'm gonna cry.
The good news is that life does get easier as long as you continually force yourself to improve. There will come a time when it will seem as if your efforts have culminated to a final resting place that I like to call self-reliance. But it is actually just the place where things become effortless and every moment becomes a joy.
It hurts when we're lifting these weights and we're trying to accomplish a goal. It hurts, it's painful. It's daunting, it's cumbersome. I don't want to do it. I'm sweating, I'm bleeding, I'm crying, I'm suffering. But after I've suffered, there is a reward. I want to use the pain to my advantage.
I am shoulder to shoulder with everybody.
They look and see, and then are quick to judge your ability. But they weren't there. They weren't there through the struggle. They weren't there through the sleepless nights. They weren't there through the pain. They weren't there through the trauma. They weren't there through the tears. They weren't there to pick you up. You did that. So what gives them the right? What gives them the right to judge you? They don't know your ability, my friend. They don't know what you're capable of. They don't know what you can do. So you find a way to push through. You find a way to keep going because nobody can tell you anything when you're the one who dragged yourself out the dark. When you're the one who dragged yourself back into the light, my friend.
We all gonna go through it. We all have to go through it, including myself. I'm gonna tell you something. When you are doing everything in your power to be the best makeup of yourself, it's always going to be an adversary that's going to try to take that away from you. Now, the best way you can overcome this is having the faith. Now, it doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as it's something that's positive, that's going to get you through it.
Imagine if you could use pain as a fuel. Imagine if you could use the pain as a passport. Imagine if you could use the pain to push you, to condition you, to prepare you for the stages and the rooms you gotta walk into and the tables you've gotta sit at and the stages you have to stand on. What if the pain can make you better? What if the pain could build muscle? What if the pain could cause you to reach higher, to leap farther, to run faster? What if the pain could help you? What if all pain isn't hurt, but it's help?
Victory is found in the struggle. The struggle is not to be avoided. The struggle is to be confronted. The struggle is to be welcomed with joy. That you finally have an opportunity to show God, to show the world that you're ready for this fight. That you know you got your eyes on the prize. You know what your goal is. You know what your dream is. So, army of doubters, army of haters, army of all those who said I never could, army of that voice inside of me that's tried to keep me down, army of that voice inside of me that's tried to keep me down, all of you will be slain one by one because the victory is mine.